Sumerian, the grandfather. The original code. Imagine you are standing in Mesopotamia 5,000 years ago. You aren't writing poetry, you're doing accounting. You press a cut reed into wet clay to track bushels of barley. This isn't art, it's an Excel spreadsheet made of mud. Isolated and jagged. It has no known relatives on the linguistic family tree. It was slowly strangled by Akkadian, the shiny new Semitic language next door. By 2000 before Christ, nobody spoke it at home anymore. It survived only as a high church language for scholars, the Latin of the Bronze Age, until the lights finally went out completely around the 1st century AD. Ancient Egyptian, the language of the gods. You are a scribe in Thebes. You don't just write words, you draw the world. A bird is a bird, but it's also a sound. Writing here feels like casting a spell literally. The Egyptians believed writing a thing could make it true. It morphed, like a Pokemon. It started as Old Egyptian, hieroglyphs, smoothed out into Demonic, the casual handwriting, and finally evolved into Coptic. Religion killed it. When Rome took over and Christianity spread, the old pagan pictures became taboo. The temples closed, the priests died, and for 1,500 years, the inscriptions were just pretty wallpaper until the Rosetta Stone cracked the code. Classical Latin, the operating system of Western history. Imagine you are in the Senate. The grammar here is a nightmare of precision. 6 cases, 5 declensions. You have to construct sentences like an architect builds a bridge. Every word must be perfectly placed or the sentence collapses. Rigid, authoritative, and imperial. It didn't actually die. It was murdered by the common people. The soldiers and farmers stopped caring about proper grammar, vulgar Latin. Over centuries, their slang drifted so far apart that the Spanish couldn't understand the Italians, and the French couldn't understand the Romanians. Now, Latin didn't vanish, it just evolved into the Romance languages. Old Norse, the language of the raid. You are freezing on a longship. The words coming out of your mouth are harsh, guttural, and punchy. You don't use flowery metaphors, you use kennings. The ocean is the whale road. Blood is battle sweat. It technically died when it split into Danish, Swedish, and Norwegian, but it left deep scars on English. If you use an angry word skull, die, knife, scream, rotten, you are speaking the ghost of Old Norse. It simply dissolved. As Christianity moved north, the runes were replaced by the Latin alphabet, and the dialects drifted apart until the mutual tongue of the Vikings was gone. Classic Maya, the visual puzzle. Imagine a language that is also a painting. You can write the same word in 5 different ways depending on how much space you have on the stone stele. It's a grid of faces, jaguars, and dots. Mathematical and elite. This was the language of the court. This is a crime scene. We could have read this easily, but in 1562, Bishop Diego de Landa decided the Mayan books were superstition and lies of the devil, and burned. We lost centuries of history in a single afternoon smoke. It took us until the late 20th century to finally read the stones again. Gothic. The emo teenager of the Germanic family. You are in Eastern Europe during the fall of Rome. You are a barbarian, but you are sophisticated. You are reading a Bible written in silver ink on purple parchment. It sounds like a strange mix of German and something older. The Goths were too good at assimilation. They conquered Italy and Spain, looked around and said, actually we like Latin better. They adopted the languages of the people they conquered. By the 9th century, Gothic was a ghost, surviving only in a few scraps of scripture. Linear A, the locked safe. You are on the island of Crete, surrounded by the Minoan civilization. You see tablets covered in lines and dashes. You know it's a language. You know it records taxes and grain. We have no idea what it says. It's like finding an encrypted hard drive without the password. We cracked Linear B, which was Greek, but Linear A is a completely unknown language written in a known script. It is the safe class SCP of linguistics, sitting there, harmless but totally unknowable. Aramaic, the lingua franca. Imagine walking from Egypt to Iran in 500 before Christ. You don't speak Persian. You don't speak Egyptian. You speak Aramaic. It was the English of the ancient world. It is the language spoken by Jesus. It is the language of parts of the Bible. The Islamic conquests. When Arabic swept across the Middle East in the 7th century, it was the linguistic steamroller. Aramaic was pushed into tiny pockets in mountains and villages. It's technically not fully extinct. Modern Neo-Aramaic exists, but the imperial Aramaic that once ruled the world is dust. Etruscan, the Roman precursor. Before Rome was Rome, the Etruscans ran Italy. They gave the Romans their alphabet, their toga, and their gladiators. A total isolate. It sounds like nothing else in Europe. Cultural absorption. To be Roman was to be successful. The Etruscan aristocracy slowly stopped teaching their kids the old tongue to help them get jobs in the empire. The last person known to read it was Emperor Claudius. When he died, the key to the language died with him.